astronauts. Welcome back to the Digital Galaxy Podcast. I'm your pilot, Justin.
And I'm your co pilot, Paul. Buckle up because today in episode 38, we're discussing the launch of Windows 11. The information in this episode comes from Microsoft, CNET, and The Verge. This is the first new operating system from Microsoft since 2015, so it's exciting. Justin, can you fill the crew in on what Windows 11 is and some of the features?
Wow, I can't believe that Windows 10 came out in 2015. It feels
I
like it
know,
was
right?
like last year. But
Insane.
yeah. So the software giant announced that it will be releasing the next major version of Windows this fall for free. With a slew of exciting features, the biggest update is that Windows Start button will be in the middle of your screen.
That's right. No longer are we subjected to have the start button defaulting at the bottom left hand of the desktop. But of course, there's other features. So fill the crew in on some of those for us.
Yeah, so some are even designed to work alongside other companies, products such as Apple and Google's products. They're integrating Teams very heavily into Windows 11. The app can be downloaded on any platform that will allow crossover for its customers, which is actually pretty cool.
It is, yeah. The company is dedicating a lot more resources to Android apps in order to allow users a simpler and easier way of running phone applications on their desktop.
Which is totally the opposite of typical Microsoft approach.
Sure is.
The CEO of Microsoft said, "quote With Windows 11, we have a renewed sense of Windows' role in the world. Today, the world needs a more open platform that allows apps to become platform in their own right. Windows is a platform where things are bigger than Windows can be born. Where things are bigger than Windows can be born, like the web." End quote.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense to me too. Honestly, a lot of people are working from home, or some sort of hybrid schedule. It makes collaboration easier if can work together without some of those barriers in place. What are some of the other new exciting features on Windows 11?
So Microsoft wants as many developers as they can on their new Windows App Store, but this is actually pretty cool. Not only are they allowing Android apps on their store, they're also allowing developers to bring their own commerce engine. And
Mm.
if they do, they keep 100% of the revenue, which is amazing. So what this means is that that they won't take 30% of the revenue like Apple does in their own app store.
Yeah, it's huge. Obviously, there's still a Epic and Apple, lawsuit going on about the whole thing about starting their own e-commerce site on the store. But they still will have to abide by Microsoft's guidelines, of course, and pass the security review. But I think it's a huge deal for developers in general. So, what about gaming? How will Windows 11 be different in that sense?
Okay, so Microsoft is bringing in some elements from their Xbox gaming systems to Windows. The two biggest features are the Auto HDR and Direct Storage. Auto HDR with Windows will make it easy to turn on high dynamic range if the hardware supports it, in order to have the best visual experience. Direct storage that loads games assets directly to the graphics card instead of through the CPU to prevent the processor from being bogged down.
Hmm.
And finally, the Xbox app will allow Steam titles through Xbox Cloud Gaming, which I'm actually pretty excited about.
Yeah, Microsoft said that the upgrade to Windows 11 will be rolled out by the end of the year for free if you have Windows 10 right now. I know some people may be curious though and want to try out earlier. So how do people download a preview version of it?
So people can register to become a Windows Insider, which myself, I am a Windows Insider,
Excellent.
by going to the Windows website, insider.windows.com. They'll have you log in with your Microsoft ID, or if you have an active directory account through work, you can use that as well. If you don't have one, you can create one, of course. They'll have you agree to their terms of service before installing, and they'll use all the diagnostic data to, you know, make their product better.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah, you're testing it out, so it kind of makes sense
for
that
sure.
they'll need that. But there are a few steps, of course, before you install the Insider Preview version, and here they are. You have to be running a licensed version of Windows 10. Of course, you have to save all of your current documents that you have open, and make sure that they support your language. English is supported, of course, but if you're working in a different country, you definitely want to check that first before upgrading. I would also recommend checking your computer for compatibility first to see if it even can run Windows 11. You can do that by going to Microsoft.com and download the Compatibility Checker app. Finally, I would say that you wouldn't want to install the preview version on the computer that you use daily, just in case something happens. If you're lucky enough to have a second computer or laptop laying around, I think it'd be cool to try it out.
Yeah, I might actually try it on one of my other computers and
Yeah,
see what it's about.
absolutely.
But that really about wraps it up for this episode. It's pretty quick, but I mean Windows 11, it's good stuff. I'm
I'm
pretty excited
excited.
to see how that'll bring some new features, as I am a fairly avid PC gamer myself.
Of
But
course.
that about wraps it up. Thanks for coming along on our journey. Stick around to hear a message from our sponsor, Anchor.fm. Also, don't forget to follow our channels on Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and iTunes. You can also find this episode in the written form on our website, digitalgalaxypodcast.com. This episode was created by Clearo, a social media app where you are in charge of your data and community. Check it out at clearo.app. Thanks for coming along on our journey, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Digital Galaxy Podcast runs on Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. So let me explain. First of all, it's free. Second, there are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today.